Humanity, for centuries, had been largely ignored by the broader galactic community. Seen as a backwater planet with primitive technology, Earth was a mere blip in the vast expanse of the galaxy. But all of that changed the moment the fleet was revealed, a fleet of 200 supercarriers, each one armed with advanced weaponry, impenetrable shields, and faster-than-light engines that rivaled the most powerful ships in the galaxy. This wasn't just a technological leap, it was a statement. Humanity, once seen as insignificant, had suddenly become a force that could not be ignored. The galactic powers were caught completely off guard. No one had expected Earth, of all places, to develop such immense military capability. Rumors spread like wildfire across the stars. Some speculated that humanity had reverse-engineered alien technology. Others believed Earth had formed a secret alliance with one of the more advanced species. But the truth was more astonishing than anyone could have imagined. At the center of this shockwave was the alien Empress, ruler of a vast and ancient empire. For centuries, she had dominated the galaxy with ruthless efficiency, her military power unmatched and her reign unquestioned. The Empress had long dismissed humanity as beneath her notice, a species with no real value or threat. In her eyes, Earth was nothing more than a minor planet, not worthy of consideration. But now, as word of humanity's fleet spread, she could no longer afford to ignore them. The Empress was furious. Her empire had ruled the galaxy for millennia, and no upstart civilization was going to challenge that. The revelation of the supercarriers was not just a shock, it was an insult, a threat to her dominance. She demanded answers. How had this primitive species suddenly acquired technology capable of rivaling her empire's finest? Who had helped them? And more importantly, how could she crush this potential threat before it grew any larger? Humanity's rise was not accidental. Centuries of technological stagnation had been overturned by a discovery that would change everything. Buried deep beneath the surface of Mars, an ancient alien ruin was unearthed, remnants of a once great species that had vanished long before humanity had even developed space travel. This species, known as the Zinter, had been a powerful rival to the Empress's empire. Their technology was advanced beyond anything humanity had ever seen, and their knowledge was the key to Earth's rapid technological advancement. The Zinter had left behind blueprints, technology, and archives of knowledge far beyond humanity's current capabilities. Earth's top scientists and engineers worked tirelessly to decipher the alien technology, reverse engineering it to create their own fleet of supercarriers. But the Zinter's influence didn't stop there. The discovery of faster-than-light travel, energy weapons, and advanced shielding systems all came from the Zinter's archives. Humanity had not only caught up with the galactic powers, they had surpassed them in some areas. But this discovery came with its own risks. The Zinter had been destroyed by their own hubris and infighting, and their technology had not saved them from extinction. Humanity had learned from the Zinter's mistakes, but there was still much about the alien race they didn't fully understand. The stakes were high, and Earth's leadership knew that revealing the fleet would paint a target on their backs. Yet they had no choice. The supercarriers were necessary for defense, and now that they had been unveiled, there was no turning back. The Empress, meanwhile, saw the situation as a ticking time bomb. Humanity's rapid rise was dangerous, but more than that, it was personal. The Zinter had been her empire's greatest rival, and now their technology lived on through humanity. The idea that a dead race had passed its legacy to Earth infuriated her. She viewed it as an affront to her reign and her empire's superiority. If humanity was using Zinter technology, they had to be stopped before they could become a serious threat. The Empress wasted no time. She sent her most skilled agents to Earth under the guise of diplomacy, but their true mission was far more sinister. Their task: uncover the source of humanity's technological leap and destroy it before it could destabilize the balance of power in the galaxy. The Empress's agents were ruthless, experienced, and highly capable. They had brought down entire civilizations before, and now their focus was on Earth. Humanity, however, was not naive. They knew that revealing the supercarriers would bring attention from the galaxy's most powerful players, including the Empress. Earth's intelligence agencies were already on high alert, aware that spies would be coming to infiltrate their ranks and steal their secrets. Countermeasures were put in place, and humanity prepared for a game of espionage, knowing full well that the fate of their planet, and perhaps the entire galaxy, hung in the balance. The Empress's fury grew as time passed with no answers. Her agents reported back with little information, unable to penetrate Earth's defenses. Frustration turned to obsession. She demanded results, and her empire began to mobilize for war. But the Empress knew that a direct confrontation with humanity, especially with their fleet of supercarriers, would be costly. She needed to weaken them from within, to find and destroy the source of their power before launching a full-scale invasion. As tensions mounted, the galaxy watched with bated breath. Humanity's rise had upset the established order, and many feared that a war between Earth and the Empress's empire was inevitable. The question was not if, but when. And as the Empress's forces gathered, humanity stood firm, ready to defend their newfound power and protect the legacy of the Zinter. The stage was set for a conflict that would change the course of galactic history. The Empress, driven by rage and a desire to maintain her dominance, was willing to do whatever it took to crush humanity. But Earth, now armed with the knowledge and technology of an ancient race, would not go down without a fight. The battle for the future of the galaxy had begun. The Zinter were once one of the most powerful civilizations in the galaxy, rivaling even the vast empire of the alien Empress. Their technology was far beyond what any other species had achieved, and their influence spread across countless star systems. However, like many great empires, the Zinter's reign eventually came to an end. Internal strife and civil wars tore their civilization apart. Factions battled for control, and in the chaos, the Zinter's once unified empire fractured. Their most advanced technology was lost, scattered throughout the galaxy, their knowledge seemingly fading into myth. What remained of the Zinter civilization fled to the far reaches of space, hiding from the Empress's empire and other galactic threats. They were a dying race, with only a handful of survivors, holding on to the remnants of their once great culture. For centuries, they lived in the shadows, seeking refuge in remote star systems. They watched as the Empress consolidated her power, knowing that if she ever discovered their existence, she would finish what time had started and destroy them entirely. It was during this period of exile that the Zinter made contact with humanity. Earth was a relatively young player on the galactic stage, but the Zinter saw something in humanity that intrigued them. The resilience, ingenuity, and determination of humans reminded the Zinter of themselves in their prime. More importantly, they saw humanity as a potential ally, one that could challenge the Empress's empire and possibly restore balance to the galaxy. The Zinter approached Earth's leaders in secret, offering a deal that would change the course of history. They provided humanity with their advanced technology, blueprints for supercarriers, faster-than-light travel, and energy weapons far beyond what humanity could have developed on its own. In exchange, humanity agreed to help the Zinter rebuild their civilization, hiding them from the Empress's gaze. This alliance was formed in the shadows, with only the highest levels of Earth's government and military aware of its existence. The introduction of Zinter technology transformed humanity's position in the galaxy almost overnight. With the blueprints provided by their new allies, Earth rapidly built a fleet of supercarriers, massive ships capable of rivaling anything the Empress's empire had to offer. But this alliance was not without its risks. If the Empress ever discovered the truth, she would see it as an act of treason against her empire, and humanity would face annihilation. Maintaining the secrecy of the Zinter alliance became one of humanity's top priorities. Earth's leaders knew that the moment the Empress learned of the Zinter's survival, a galactic war would be inevitable. And so, while humanity unveiled its powerful new fleet to the galaxy, they kept the source of their technological leap hidden. The Empress, however, was not easily deceived. The Empress, suspicious of humanity's sudden rise, began sending her agents to Earth. Disguised as diplomats, traders, and even refugees, these agents infiltrated human society, searching for any clue as to how Earth had developed such powerful technology in such a short time. Their mission was clear: uncover the source of the supercarriers and destroy it before it could further disrupt the balance of power in the galaxy. These agents embedded themselves in the highest levels of Earth's government and military. They posed as allies, offering diplomatic relations while quietly gathering information. They attended state dinners, mingled with human officials, and used their advanced alien technology to hack into Earth's communication networks. The Empress's spies were highly skilled, and for a time, they seemed to be making progress. However, humanity was not defenseless against this infiltration. Earth's intelligence agencies were well aware of the Empress's tactics. They had anticipated that spies would come, and they were prepared. Counterintelligence operatives were tasked with identifying and neutralizing the alien agents. The game of cat and mouse between the Empress's spies and humanity's operatives began in earnest, each side trying to outmaneuver the other. The tension between Earth and the Empress's empire grew as the espionage war intensified. The Empress's agents grew bolder, attempting to penetrate deeper into human society. They bribed officials, manipulated data, and even resorted to assassination in their quest for the truth. But humanity's counterintelligence forces were always one step ahead, thwarting their efforts at every turn. The game became more dangerous as each side escalated their tactics. Despite the Empress's best efforts, her agents were unable to uncover the truth about the Zinter. Humanity had taken extraordinary measures to protect its secret allies, and the Zinter themselves remained hidden, living in the shadows of human-controlled space. Frustrated, the Empress began to suspect that there was more going on than mere technological development. She could sense that humanity was hiding something, but without proof, she could not justify a full-scale invasion. Meanwhile, the Zinter continued to provide humanity with the technological advancements needed to maintain their fleet of supercarriers. They knew that their survival depended on humanity's ability to defend itself against the Empress. In return, humanity worked to restore the Zinter's infrastructure, helping them rebuild their society in secret locations far from prying eyes. The stakes were high. If the alliance between Earth and the Zinter was discovered, it would mean war not just for humanity, but for the entire galaxy. The Empress, with her vast empire and powerful military, would stop at nothing to destroy the Zinter once and for all, and humanity would be caught in the crossfire. The survival of both species depended on maintaining the delicate balance of secrecy and deception. As the Empress's agents continued their mission, humanity remained vigilant. They knew that the game of espionage would not end until the Empress had either uncovered the truth or been convinced that there was nothing more to find. Until then, Earth's leadership worked tirelessly to ensure that the Zinter remained hidden and that humanity's rise to power continued, uninterrupted and unchallenged. The alliance between humanity and the Zinter was a precarious one, built on trust and necessity. Both species had much to gain from their partnership, but they also knew that the consequences of discovery would be catastrophic. For now, humanity held the line, protecting its secrets and preparing for whatever move the Empress might make next. The Empress had grown impatient. Her agents, despite their best efforts, had failed to uncover the full extent of humanity's technological leap. They had gathered fragments of information, but nothing that could explain the creation of the supercarriers or reveal the source of this sudden power. Frustration mounted as the Empress realized that Earth was not as easy to manipulate as other species had been. So, she decided to take matters into her own hands. A direct show of force was necessary. She deployed a small fleet of her warships, not intending to start an all-out war, but to test the strength of humanity's new fleet. The Empress wanted to provoke a response, to see firsthand what the supercarriers were capable of. The battle was brief but intense. In a remote corner of space, far from the prying eyes of the galactic community, her warships clashed with a group of human supercarriers. The Empress's forces, though highly advanced, were caught off guard by the sheer power and tactical precision of humanity's fleet. The supercarriers, with their advanced shields and weapons, held their own against the Empress's warships, forcing them to retreat. What was meant to be a probing attack quickly became a lesson in the newfound strength of Earth. The Empress, though furious at the defeat, was impressed. Humanity's fleet wasn't just formidable, it was a legitimate threat. She had underestimated them, and now she realized that Earth's fleet could indeed rival her empire's military might. This realization only fueled her anger. The Empress could not allow humanity to become a power in its own right, especially with technology that was unfamiliar to her empire. She knew there had to be an external influence. Someone was aiding Earth, and she needed to find out who. But before launching a full-scale invasion, she would need to destabilize Earth from within. Back on Earth, the situation was becoming increasingly tense. The alliance with the Zinter had been kept secret, but not everyone within humanity's leadership was comfortable with the reliance on alien technology. Some saw it as a necessary step for survival, while others viewed it as a betrayal of humanity's own potential. Factions began to form, with political leaders, military officials, and even some scientists questioning the long-term consequences of the alliance. This internal division created a ripe opportunity for the Empress's agents, who had been quietly working behind the scenes. They began spreading disinformation, fueling the distrust between the factions. Whisper campaigns suggested that humanity was becoming too dependent on the Zinter, that Earth's future was being sold to an alien race in exchange for temporary power. These rumors spread through the ranks of Earth's leadership, creating a growing sense of paranoia and fear. The Empress's agents played both sides. They infiltrated anti-Zinter factions, encouraging them to push for Earth's independence from alien influence, while simultaneously planting seeds of doubt among those loyal to the alliance. The result was a fractured leadership, with some pushing for the continued development of the Supercarriers and others advocating for a complete rejection of Zinter technology. This division began to threaten humanity's ability to defend itself. With internal conflicts distracting its leadership, Earth's response to the growing threat from the Empress became slower and less coordinated. The Empress, sensing weakness, escalated her efforts. She ordered her agents to disrupt communications between Earth and the Zinter, further straining the alliance. If the relationship between Earth and the Zinter could be broken, she believed humanity would be left vulnerable, and the Supercarriers would lose their edge. Meanwhile, Earth's military leadership recognized that they needed to take action to prevent a full-scale invasion. They knew that the Empress was planning something bigger, and they couldn't wait for her to strike. A covert operation was launched. A small, elite team was sent to one of the Empress's key outposts. Their mission was to gather intelligence and, if possible, sabotage the Empress's ability to launch an invasion. The mission was risky, but it was humanity's best chance to buy time and keep the Empress at bay. The team infiltrated the outposts, slipping past security and planting devices that would disable the outpost's communication systems. They gathered critical information about the Empress's plans, confirming that a full-scale invasion was imminent. With this intel in hand, they triggered the sabotage, crippling the outpost and dealing a significant blow to the Empress's war efforts. The mission was a success, but it came at a cost. The Empress now knew that humanity had struck back, and that they had the capability to go on the offensive. Worse, her agents had gathered enough information during their time on Earth to confirm that humanity was receiving external aid. Though they hadn't uncovered the full truth about the Zinter, they knew enough to suspect that humanity had powerful allies. This knowledge changed everything. The Empress, now fully aware of the stakes, prepared for a new phase in the conflict. She would stop at nothing to uncover the truth, and she was willing to use whatever means necessary to bring humanity to its knees. For Earth, the situation was becoming increasingly dire. The internal divisions were threatening to tear their leadership apart, just as the Empress was preparing to strike again. The stage was set for a confrontation that would decide the future of both humanity and the galaxy. As Earth struggled to hold its alliances together and prepare for the next phase of the war, the Empress marshaled her forces, determined to crush humanity before they could fully realize the potential of their new fleet. The battle was far from over, and both sides knew that the worst was yet to come. The Empress had finally uncovered the truth. Her spies had pieced together enough fragments to confirm what she had long suspected: humanity wasn't acting alone. The Zinter, the ancient enemies of her empire, had somehow survived and were now aiding Earth in their rise to power. This alliance was intolerable, a threat not only to her dominance but to the very stability of the galaxy. The time for subterfuge was over. The Empress prepared for all-out war. She gathered her largest fleet, a force that could obliterate entire star systems, and set her sights on Earth. This wasn't just a mission to defeat a rival, it was personal. The Zinter had once been the only species to challenge her empire, and now they were making a comeback through humanity. The Empress's plan was simple: overwhelm Earth's defenses, seize the supercarrier technology, and destroy both humanity and the Zinter remnants. This would be the final act in a war centuries in the making. But humanity, now united and fully aware of the looming invasion, was ready. The internal divisions that had threatened their leadership had been set aside. The danger of the Empress's attack had forced Earth's leaders to come together in defense of their planet. With the help of the Zinter, humanity's fleet of supercarriers had been upgraded, equipped with even more advanced technology than before. Faster-than-light drives, enhanced shields, and devastating new weapons were all part of the fleet's arsenal. The Zinter, though still in hiding, had invested everything in this alliance, knowing that humanity's victory was their only chance for survival. As the Empress's fleet entered Earth's orbit, the scale of the invasion became clear. Thousands of her empire's warships appeared in the skies above the planet, dwarfing humanity's supercarrier fleet. The Empress had brought overwhelming numbers, confident that her sheer force would crush any resistance. But humanity wasn't facing her fleet alone. The Zinter's technology, combined with Earth's tactical ingenuity, gave them a fighting chance. The battle began with an intensity that shook the very fabric of space. Energy blasts and missile barrages lit up the darkness, as Earth's supercarriers engaged the Empress's warships. Despite being outnumbered, humanity's fleet fought with precision and strategy. Each supercarrier was equipped with advanced AI systems, allowing them to anticipate and counter the Empress's tactics. The Zinter's influence was evident in every move humanity's fleet made, as they outmaneuvered and outgunned ships that should have been far superior. For hours, the two sides clashed in orbit, the devastation on both sides mounting. Ships were destroyed, fleets scattered, and space debris littered the battlefield. The Empress watched from her command ship, growing more enraged with every passing minute. She had expected to crush humanity quickly, but Earth's fleet was holding its own. The supercarriers, with their upgraded shields and advanced weaponry, were proving far more resilient than she had anticipated. Humanity's strategic advantage began to turn the tide. The Zinter's technology allowed the supercarriers to target the weakest points in the Empress's fleet, crippling her warships one by one. Earth's leaders had prepared for this moment, coordinating their forces with an efficiency that even the Empress's most seasoned commanders hadn't predicted. The longer the battle raged, the more it became clear that humanity had the upper hand. Realizing that she could not win this fight without incurring catastrophic losses, the Empress made a bitter decision. She ordered a retreat. Her fleet began to pull back, limping away from the battlefield, battered but not broken. The Empress had never known defeat on this scale, and though she was forced to withdraw, she vowed revenge. The war wasn't over, it was only beginning. The Empress's final transmission to Earth was clear. "This is not the end. I will return." With the Empress's forces in retreat, humanity had won a hard-fought victory. The cost had been high, many supercarriers had been lost, and the toll on human life was immense. But Earth had defended itself against one of the most powerful forces in the galaxy. More importantly, the secret of the Zinter remained intact. The Empress had not uncovered the full extent of their involvement, and the alliance between Earth and the Zinter was stronger than ever. In the aftermath of the battle, humanity's position in the galaxy shifted dramatically. No longer seen as a minor player, Earth was now recognized as a major power, capable of defending itself against even the most dominant forces. The victory over the Empress's fleet sent shockwaves through the galactic community. Other species, who had once dismissed humanity as insignificant, now sought alliances with Earth, hoping to gain access to their technological advancements. But the war was far from over. The Empress would return, and when she did, she would come with a vengeance. Humanity knew that they had bought themselves time, but they had not yet secured their future. Earth's leadership began the process of rebuilding, strengthening their alliances with the Zinter, and preparing for the inevitable next phase of the conflict. The supercarriers, though powerful, were only one part of humanity's defense. They would need to innovate further, to push the boundaries of what they could achieve with the Zinter's help. The Zinter, too, had a stake in humanity's survival. For them, Earth's victory was a second chance, a way to restore their place in the galaxy. Though still hidden from the broader galactic community, they continued to work with humanity, sharing their knowledge and technology. Together, they began to lay the groundwork for a future where both species could thrive, free from the Empress's tyranny. As humanity and the Zinter looked to the future, they knew that the road ahead would be difficult. The Empress was still out there, plotting her return, and other galactic powers would soon be watching closely, wondering how Earth had achieved such a rapid rise. But for now, humanity had proven one thing beyond doubt: they were no longer a species to be overlooked. The galaxy had changed, and Earth was now a force to be reckoned with. With the Empress's retreat, a new era had begun. Humanity, once seen as weak and inconsequential, now stood at the forefront of galactic politics. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear: Earth, with the Zinter at their side, would not back down from the challenges ahead. The supercarriers, symbols of their strength and resilience, would continue to defend humanity against any threat, no matter how powerful.